We're kicking things off with a major SummerSlam showdown now made official, as Solo Sikoa will defend the United States Championship against Jacob Fatu inside a steel cage. The announcement came after a wild series of events that unfolded on Smackdown. The show opened with chaos, as Sikoa and his MFT crew, Tala Tonga, JC Mateo, and Tonga Loa, were reportedly involved in a vehicular incident, and fingers quickly pointed towards Jacob Fatu. Fatu was taken into police custody shortly after for questioning, temporarily removing him from the picture. But just as Solo Sikoa took to the ring to mock Fatu for being arrested, the tides turned. Fatu, now cleared of any wrongdoing, stormed the ring alongside Jimmy Uso and took out the entire MFT crew in brutal fashion. Sikoa was left cornered. Fatu wrapped a steel chair around Solo's head and neck, ready to strike, when JC Mateo reappeared to make a last-second save. Sikoa managed to escape the ambush, but not for long. As Sikoa walked up the ramp thinking he was in the clear, substitute SmackDown GM Adam Pearce stepped out to confront him. He berated Sikoa for trying to frame Fatu, revealing the truth behind the so-called accident. Then came the steel cage match announcement for SummerSlam, but before the Bloodline enforcer could react, the police showed up again. Sikoa laughed, assuming they were there for Fatu. That laugh quickly faded when the officers turned and cuffed him instead, arresting Sikoa for staging the collision to frame Fatu. In a full circle twist, the manipulator became the one in handcuffs. Sikoa is currently 21 days into his reign as United States Champion, having dethroned Fatu at Night of Champions. He notched his first title defense against Jimmy Uso at Saturday night's main event, but now at SummerSlam, the walls will close in, literally, when he steps inside a steel cage against a revenge-fueled Jacob Fatu. The police officers in the segment looked completely unconvincing, with costumes that resembled something out of a Party City aisle. The lead officer delivering the dialogue lacked any real authority or believability. Instead of calling Fatu a suspect, he referred to him as a person of interest, a term that might work in a legal drama but felt completely out of place here. It didn't help that the officer had to look down at his cue card before delivering the line, failing to mention Fatu by name. That alone broke any illusion that the segment was supposed to carry real weight. Then came the logic gap. The officers arrested Fatu and took him to the station, only to return later saying that he'd been cleared after reviewing building footage. The obvious question, why wasn't that footage checked before the arrest in the first place? This isn't just a minor detail, it's a flaw that weakens the overall presentation of a storyline WWE clearly wants fans to take seriously. For a Bloodline arc that's been filled with intense drama and sharp execution, moments like this take the wind out of the story. Do you think the way WWE handled Fatu's arrest made sense, or did it damage the credibility of the segment? Let us know your thoughts below. In the main event of the show, a contract signing between Cody Rhodes and John Cena ended up in a classic brawl, as has become expected for any segment of this kind in WWE, with the contract being signed by force in the end. The segment began with Cena initially refusing to sign the contract to face the King of the Ring winner, using a Netflix movie as his excuse, stating that he has emotional exhaustion, which frustrated the WWE universe. The idea that Cena wasn't going to wrestle at SummerSlam was something that fans never truly bought into, though it did frustrate the American Nightmare in the moment. Rhodes dragged Cena back when he attempted to leave, and that's when the brawl went down between the two men, with Rhodes stopping Cena from hitting him with the WWE Championship as he returned the favor himself. That was the one thing Rhodes couldn't do at WrestleMania 41, with Cody proving that he's going to push himself to the extremes of using the WWE title if necessary to get it back. Rhodes eventually put Cena through a table and forced an unconscious Cena to sign the contract, an act that quickly stirred up talk online about a possible heel turn. Fans immediately pointed to a cryptic tweet from Rhodes a few weeks back where he said, "Don't flinch. Thank you all for riding with me at this time. Love you for it. Excited for what we do next." With the pressure mounting and Rhodes showing more aggression than ever, some believe his perfect image could be cracking, possibly paving the way for a darker, more ruthless version of the American Nightmare at SummerSlam. According to Corey Hayes of BodySlam.net, John Cena and Cody Rhodes were set to be in the opening segment just hours before SmackDown. The rundown had changed at the last minute by Triple H. Although the entire contract signing segment may have been entertaining, from a logical standpoint, it completely fell apart. Forcing someone to sign a contract under pressure isn't legally binding in any real-world scenario, and certainly not something a top babyface like Cody Rhodes should be doing. In execution, it puts Cody in a tough spot. Either he comes off as naive for thinking it'll hold up, or the writing team looks careless for scripting it that way. As for Cena, despite underwhelming fans with his SummerSlam announcement, John Cena received a touching "Thank you, Cena" from the San Antonio crowd after SmackDown went off the air. This is perhaps because this could be Cena's last appearance in San Antonio, and fans are well aware of this, so even if his appearance lasted all but a few minutes, many fans will be seeing him live for the final time ever. Fans in attendance were also treated to a surprise dark match that saw AJ Styles team up with 40-year-old Lucha veteran Penta. The unlikely duo scored a win over Finn Balor and Braun Breaker, with Penta securing the pinfall over the former Universal Champion himself. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. There were more major SummerSlam announcements on this show as Charlotte Flair went directly to Adam Pearce and booked herself and Alexa Bliss a women's tag team title shot at the show against the Judgment Day. Flair had the chance to prove herself against the champions when taking on Raquel Rodriguez in singles action at the show, picking up the win against the WWE Raw superstar after an assist from her partner. It was a solid match, but it did feature a Hurricane Rana from Flair that looked worse than it should have done for someone of her quality. Despite that big win, Bliss no-sold the post-match hug, with Bliss's expression seeming to be rather reserved and cold, which is odd considering she initially wanted this partnership. It seems Flair is now fully invested in them as a tag team, while Bliss is seemingly ready to snap at any moment. The trust is still not there between them, and that's something that could play out moving forward. Another interesting note was that Bliss was wearing her old Play and Pain gloves, which she had worn during her Fiend days. They were hidden under pom-poms during the match, but were noticeable afterwards. Could this be a quiet signal that Alexa Bliss is slipping back into her darker persona, or is it just a subtle mind game in a tag team that's barely holding it together? Regardless of what Bliss is thinking, her immediate future is a tag team title shot at SummerSlam, although the clock might already be ticking on their partnership at this stage. Would you trust Alexa Bliss as your tag team partner heading into SummerSlam? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. The decision to simply give Flair and Bliss a title shot because the Queen asked for one has led to debate on consistency with how WWE handles those decisions, though, after the New Day were told they wouldn't get an automatic rematch for the tag titles on Raw this week. The New Day has to fight their way back into the mix, but Flair just asked for a shot without any #1 contenders match going on. WWE offered a slim explanation, stating that Sol Ruca and Zarya were pinned at Evolution, and the Kabuki Warriors were defeated by the Judgment Day on Raw this week. Still, there is a significant difference in how WWE handles these booking decisions. One tag team has to jump through hoops while another does nothing. Meanwhile, the men's SmackDown tag team division also had to fight for a shot at the gold. There's a lack of consistency across the entire company, leading to confusion among the WWE universe about what they should expect. If one team has to earn their way back, shouldn't all of them? Do you think WWE needs to bring more consistency to how title matches are booked? Sound off in the comments and let us know what you think. Last week, the Wyatt Six claimed tag team gold for the first time as Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy defeated the Street Profits for the tag team titles, and on this episode of SmackDown, they addressed the WWE universe directly. Each member spoke individually, with Uncle Howdy claiming that they're where they belong, while Lumis added that the Street Profits bond only exists due to their lust for gold. Eric Rowan stated that they're the opposite of that, as they're a family forged in pain and aren't defined by the blood that they share, as Nikki Cross joked about the blood that they shed. Gacy then provided an ominous threat to the tag team division by teasing that they're targeting the teams one by one, as Howdy told the fans to let the Wyatt Six be your guide. All you have to do is follow. Kathy Kelly did receive a response from the former champions, as Ford claimed that the Wyatt Six used underhanded tactics to secure the win. Unfortunately, they won't get an immediate shot at the gold, as the #1 contenders match didn't feature them. Instead, it was DIY, Fraxiom, the Motor City Machine Guns, and the team of Andrade and Rey Fenix who duked it out to earn the chance to compete against the Wyatt Six for the gold. It didn't take long for all 8 men to end up in one giant brawl as the match descended into chaos early on, but once order was resumed, it ended up being the most exciting match of the night. The tag team bout was fast-paced, and the fact that all 4 teams are naturally thrilling to watch meant that this ultimately provided a lot of brilliant moments to keep the fans hooked. That included Andrade and Rey Fenix paying homage to Eddie Guerrero with the frog splash, as well as the 3 amigos being used. Meanwhile, Tommaso Ciampa hit Fraxiom with a slam from the middle rope to the floor that provided another shocking moment. Fenix ended up wiping out the rest of the competitors outside the ring, while Andrade attempted to set up Ciampa for his finisher inside of it. However, Candice LeRae distracted the official, which allowed Ciampa to go for a roll-up. Things didn't go to plan for DIY though, as Gargano accidentally took out his partner and was then nailed by a spinning elbow as Andrade hit the message to pick up a win for his team. It was a huge victory for the newest team in the division, although it raises the question of why the Lucha Bros are being kept apart, as it's strange to see Fenix teaming with Andrade. Regardless, they become the new #1 contenders. After days of speculation and a not-so-subtle phenomenal teaser on Impact this week, TNA President Carlos Silva has confirmed that AJ Styles will be at Slammiversary this Sunday, July 20th at the UBS Arena in Elmont, New York. Silva shared the news with Fightful Select, ending the mystery that had fans connecting the dots on social media. AJ Styles will be a part of Slammiversary on Sunday, Silva confirmed. As of now, it's unclear whether Styles will compete or simply appear, but either way, the spotlight is on. According to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, this may just be the beginning, with WWE and TNA's partnership heating up. Bound for Glory or a future premium live event could see Styles return to in-ring action. Trick Williams has already teased that a showdown with AJ could be on the horizon, and Mike Santana has gone on record saying that facing Styles would be a dream match for him. All signs point to something being set up in New York. And speaking of setup, Trick Williams isn't holding back, as during his interview on Busted Open Radio, the TNA World Champion reacted to Styles' return and questioned the timing. When hosts pitched a scenario where AJ confronts him after his Slammiversary title defense, Trick was quick to respond, implying that AJ's comeback feels a little too convenient now that TNA's stock is rising, and concluded that he's ready for anyone who tries to take his spot. Meanwhile, Carlos Silva explained why the announcement took so long to go public. Also speaking on Busted Open Radio, the TNA president revealed that the team spent the week locking in the final logistics before making it official. With Styles constantly on the road and SummerSlam season heating up, they wanted to be absolutely certain before pulling the trigger. With Slammiversary already positioned as one of TNA's biggest shows in years, Styles' involvement raises the ceiling even higher. His return could spark a full-circle story arc that leads to Bound for Glory or beyond. TNA helped shape AJ's legacy, now he might be stepping back in to shape the next era. Would you like to see AJ Styles challenge Trick Williams for the TNA World title? Drop your thoughts in the comments section and let us know. Elsewhere, Carmelo Hayes and Damian Priest ended up in a tense backstage segment that led to a match between them being set for later that night. Hayes tried to attack Priest before he even took off his jacket in a bid to get the upper hand, although Priest unsurprisingly turned things around with his aggressive nature. It was billed as a powerhouse versus high flyer match, but Priest is fast for a man of his size, and that led to this being a fast-paced encounter that never slowed down as they played to both of their strengths. The match didn't have a clean ending though, as Aleister Black appeared and tripped Priest while he was on the top rope to cause a disqualification. He followed that with a black mass to add even more devastation against his new rival. In the women's division, Stephanie Vaquer was in action against Alba Fyre, with Vaquer getting the upper hand with a super kick that knocked the Scottish wrestler off the apron, allowing her opponent to nail a suicide dive. Vaquer ended up winning after a routine performance, and she even dealt with a post-match attack by Piper Niven to showcase her quality, although the match itself was a little too short to be memorable. There was also some major news during the main event tapings ahead of Smackdown this week, as Kiana James made her return to in-ring action for the first time since June 2024. James has been out after a leg injury that required surgery, but she was able to return, and it wasn't the last people saw of her that night. Keen-eyed fans would have spotted James in the background talking to Julia during a segment where the attention was on Flair and Bliss, which certainly got people talking. The brief visual has already sparked considerable speculation. Was it just a casual chat between them, or a preview of something bigger brewing on SmackDown? Speaking of, Julia the Beautiful Madness became the US champion after defeating Zelina Vega on the SmackDown Before Night of Champions. Since then, she's yet to appear live on the show. A pre-taped promo doesn't count as a true appearance, and neither does this quick background moment with Kiana James. In fact, Julia hasn't stepped into a SmackDown ring since that title win. Aside from a brief showing on the Go Home episode of NXT and a cameo in the Evolution Battle Royal, Julia's presence has been almost non-existent, and that's raising serious questions. When WWE introduced mid-card titles for the women's divisions, the company promised more spotlight and opportunity. Over on Raw, the women's Intercontinental title has lived up to the hype, with standout matches and consistent focus driving the division forward. Lyra Valkyria and Becky Lynch have torn it up, delivering some of the year's best matches with strong storytelling and consistent build. So why isn't Julia getting the same treatment? With SummerSlam just 2 weeks away, fans are starting to ask whether the United States women's title is being forgotten, or whether WWE is waiting to pull the trigger on something major involving Kiana James. Is WWE missing the mark with Julia's reign, or are they saving a bigger plan for the biggest show of the summer? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. It looks like WWE has made a significant change in the direction for Becky Lynch's SummerSlam match, and Bayley may have gotten the short end of the deal. After retaining the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship in a triple threat match against Bayley and Lyra Valkyria at Evolution, the expectation was that Lynch would head into a one-on-one feud at SummerSlam. On the July 15th episode of Raw, that match was decided in a 2 out of 3 falls bout between Bayley and Valkyria. Valkyria emerged victorious, officially earning the title shot. But according to Wrestling Observer Newsletter, that wasn't the original plan. An internal proposed card for SummerSlam reportedly had Becky Lynch versus Bayley listed as the Intercontinental Championship match. That rundown was created nearly 3 weeks ago, suggesting Bayley was the frontrunner until WWE made a late pivot, likely within the past few days. As of now, Bayley's SummerSlam status remains unclear. If she's left off the card entirely, this would mark the second major event she's missed this year, with WrestleMania being the first. So while fans will now see Lynch defend her title against Valkyria at MetLife Stadium, Bayley's absence from both marquee shows in 2025 raises real questions about how WWE is choosing to utilize one of its most accomplished veterans. Do you think WWE made the right call by shifting the SummerSlam match? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. WWE also aired the footage from Jimmy Kimmel Live this week where Jelly Roll chokeslammed Logan Paul through a table, and the fallout from that will be felt next week. All 4 men are confirmed to be a part of the show next week, and given what happened on an episode of late night television, it's hard to imagine what chaos will unfold inside a WWE ring. Are you ready for the fallout next Friday? Let us know what you think in the comments below. We have some sad news to report now, as Buff Bagwell has undergone an above-the-knee leg amputation, marking the most difficult point in his long battle with injuries and addiction. The former WCW star had been trying to save his leg since a serious car accident in 2020, going through dozens of surgeries and setbacks. Despite all efforts, the damage couldn't be reversed. On his YouTube channel, Bagwell stated that he had already come to terms with the amputation, saying it brought him peace rather than sadness, because through the pain, he found sobriety in 2022 and turned his life around. His team shared a photo and statement honoring his journey, not just as a wrestler, but as someone who's fought through physical and emotional hell and kept going. How do you feel about Buff Bagwell's strength through all of this? Do you have a memory of him you'd like to share? Drop your comments, thoughts, and support in the section below. We're ending today with AEW news, as the company debuted a new commentator at the Collision tapings in Chicago, as Colt Cabana made a surprise return to AEW television in the new role. Interestingly, the night didn't end up being a smooth one for him, as he was attacked by the Death Riders, which has fans wondering what the future is going to be for him. Cabana has the gift of gab and would work as a commentator, but could there be a feud against the Death Riders in his future instead? Sound off your thoughts in the comments.